Captain Jack Morrison stood behind the thick glass wall. He watched the council meeting hall below. It was huge. Rows and rows of seats rose up in circles. Each seat held a different alien species. 217 species in total. They came from every corner of the galaxy. The hall was built to make visitors feel small. It worked. Jack had been standing there for 3 hours. His feet hurt. His back ached. But he did not move. He wanted to see this moment. He needed to remember it. The Kreth ambassador moved to the center platform. It looked like a giant insect made of crystal. When light hit its body, rainbow colors spread across the walls. It raised 3 of its 6 arms. The hall went silent. Even the quiet whispers stopped. The translator box on Jack's belt began to speak. The matter is settled. Humanity joined this council 12 years ago. We gave them a chance. We hoped they would learn our ways. We were wrong. In 12 years, humans started 3 wars at our borders. They broke 17 trade agreements. They ignored our rules again and again. They do not respect our laws. They do not respect this council. The vote will now begin. Jack looked at the wall screen. It showed 2 colors. Green meant humanity could stay. Red meant exile. The lights started to appear. First one red light. Then another. Then 5 more. Then 20. The red lights spread like fire. Green lights appeared too, but not many. 25 green. 192 red. Behind Jack, Lieutenant Kate Sullivan made a small sound. She held a data tablet in her hands. It contained all their arguments, all their evidence, all their reasons why humanity should stay. None of it mattered now. The council had decided. Ambassador Paul Henderson stood next to Kate. His face showed no surprise. He had gray hair and deep lines around his eyes. He looked like a man who knew this would happen. He looked like a man who had planned for it. Paul spoke quietly. We have 60 days. 60 standard days to leave council space. Every human must go. Every embassy must close. Every trade deal must end. Every research project must stop. 60 days. Kate looked up from her tablet. That is not enough time. We have millions of people in council space. We have stations, colonies, research facilities. How can we move everyone in 60 days? Jack turned away from the glass. His face was calm. Too calm. That is the point, Kate. They want us to panic. They want us to leave things behind. They want us to look weak and desperate. They want other species to see what happens when you do not follow council rules. He pulled out his own communicator. Send a message to Earth, tell them to start Protocol Exodus. Send it now. Use the emergency channel. Kate stared at him. What is Protocol Exodus? I have never heard of it, Paul smiled. It was not a kind smile. It was the smile of someone who had a secret. Protocol Exodus is something we created the day we joined this council. We knew they might kick us out. We are humans, Kate. We do not like following other people's rules. We never have. So we made a plan for the day they said we had to leave. The Kreth ambassador's voice came through the speakers again. The human delegation must leave this building. You are no longer council members. You have no right to be here. Your species is restricted to your home system. If any human ship crosses the boundary after 60 days, we will destroy it. Do you understand? Jack picked up his jacket from the chair. He folded it over his arm. Come on, we are leaving. There is work to do. Kate followed him to the door. Jack, please. What is Protocol Exodus? What is the plan? Jack stopped walking. He looked back at the council hall one last time. All those aliens sitting in their seats. All those species that voted to exile humanity. They looked pleased with themselves. They thought they had won. Jack turned to Kate. You know that old saying? If you love something, set it free. Kate nodded. Yes, of course. Jack started walking again. Humans have a different saying. If someone kicks you out of their club, you build your own club, and you make it better than theirs. They walked down the long corridor. Their footsteps echoed on the metal floor. Behind them, the council continued their meeting. They were already discussing other business. Humanity was forgotten. They were yesterday's problem. Paul walked beside Jack. His old legs moved slower, but he kept up. You need to tell her more, Jack. She deserves to know what we are about to do. Jack nodded. He stopped at a window that looked out into space. Hundreds of ships floated near the station. Ships from every council species. Beyond them, stars filled the darkness. Listen carefully, Kate. For 12 years, we played their game. We followed their rules. Most of their rules anyway. But the whole time we were preparing. We built things they do not know about. We made deals they never saw. We created backup plans for everything. Kate's eyes went wide. What kind of things? Research stations they never found. Weapons they never knew we had. Jump gates we built ourselves. Trade agreements with species who are tired of council rules. We made friends, Kate, real friends. Not the fake friendship you get in council meetings. And when we leave, those friends are coming with us. Paul added more information. The council thinks humans are barely advanced. They think we got lucky with our faster-than-light drive. They think we are children playing in their galaxy. They never bothered to really look at what we can do. They were too busy feeling superior. Jack smiled. Now we get to show them what humans are really capable of. They wanted us gone. Fine, we will go. But we are taking half their economy with us. We are taking their best trade routes. We are taking every species that is sick of their rules. And we are going to build something new. Something better. Kate looked between the two men. But how? How did you plan all this? How did you keep it secret? Paul laughed. It was a dry, tired sound. Kate, humanity has been keeping secrets for thousands of years. We kept secrets from kings and emperors. We kept secrets from dictators and tyrants. Did you really think a bunch of aliens could stop us? The council is old. They are set in their ways. They think everyone follows the same rules they do. But humans? We break rules for breakfast. Jack started walking again. They reached the elevator. It would take them to the docking bay where their ship waited. In 60 days, every human will be gone from council space. But we will not be hiding in our home system. We will not be scared. We will be building. And the council is going to regret this vote, not because we will attack them, not because we will fight them, but because we will show the galaxy that you do not need the council to survive. You do not need their permission to thrive. The elevator doors opened. Inside, 2 council guards stood waiting. They were there to escort the humans out, to make sure they left. Jack walked in without hesitation. Kate and Paul followed. As the elevator descended, Kate asked one more question. What happens if they try to stop us? What if they send their fleet? Jack looked at his reflection in the elevator's metal walls. Then they will learn another thing about humans. We are very good at defending ourselves. Better than they know. Much better. The elevator reached the docking level. The doors opened. Jack stepped out and walked toward their ship. Behind him, the council station grew smaller. Ahead of him, Earth waited. Earth and Protocol Exodus. Earth and the future, the council had voted. They had exiled humanity. They thought it was the end of a problem. But Jack knew better. It was just the beginning. The beginning of something the galaxy had never seen before. The beginning of humanity unchained. Admiral Lisa Grant stood on the command bridge of the carrier Liberty. The ship was massive. It could hold 5,000 people and had weapons that could crack a moon. But today it was not a warship. Today it was a moving truck. She looked at the main screen. It showed dozens of human stations scattered across council space. Each station was being emptied. People, equipment, computers, furniture, everything was being loaded onto ships. The evacuation was running like a military operation. Because it was a military operation, Commander Ryan Brooks stood next to her. He was young, maybe 30 years old, but he was good at his job. He had a data pad in his hands. Numbers scrolled across the screen. Status report, Lisa said. Ryan looked at the pad. 63 stations completely cleared. 41 stations still in progress. We are ahead of schedule, Admiral. The Council sent observers to watch. They are counting every ship that leaves. They think we are running away in fear. Lisa smiled. It was a cold smile. Good. Let them think that. The longer they believe we are scared, the better. What about the research stations? The hidden ones? Ryan pressed a button. Another list appeared. Dr. Helen Carter says the weapons facility in Deneb sector is clear. All the prototype weapons are loaded. All the data is copied. The Council never knew that place existed. We built it inside an asteroid. They flew past it 100 times and never saw it. Lisa nodded. That was the beauty of the plan. For 12 years, humanity had shown the Council what they wanted to see. Merchant ships, diplomatic vessels, research stations studying peaceful things like plants and stars. But in the shadows, humanity had built other things, secret things, military things. The Council believed humans barely understood faster-than-light travel. They thought human weapons were primitive. They thought human ships were slow and clumsy. They were wrong about all of it. What about civilians? Lisa asked. People with families here. People who married aliens. What happens to them? Ryan scrolled to another section. 200 people asked to stay. Most of them have alien spouses or children. We gave them papers that say they are no longer Earth citizens. The council agreed to let them remain. They are not our problem anymore. Lisa felt bad about that. Those people were making a choice. A hard choice. They were choosing love over loyalty. She could not blame them. But it still hurt. Every human that stayed was one more person lost. How many council ships are at the boundary? She asked. 40 ships. They are positioned in a blockade formation. They want to make sure we do not try to sneak anything out. They are searching every cargo hold. They are scanning every ship. They want to catch us stealing their technology. Lisa almost laughed. Let them search. They would not find anything illegal. Because humans were not stealing council technology. Why would they? Human technology was better. The council just did not know it yet. She looked at the screen again. Every station that was evacuated had been stripped clean. Not just the people, everything. Every computer had its data copied. Every piece of equipment was loaded. Every contact was saved. Every trade partner was quietly asked a question. Would you like to continue doing business with us outside council rules? The answers had been surprising. Very surprising. 40% said yes. 40% of the species that humanity traded with wanted to keep working together. They did not care about council approval. They cared about profit. They cared about good deals. And humanity offered very good deals. A communications officer called out from her station. Admiral, we have a message from Earth Command. Priority Alpha. It is marked Protocol Exodus Alpha. Lisa stood up straight. Alpha meant the next phase was beginning. High Command was moving faster than planned. That was good. Speed was important now. She pressed a button that connected her to the entire fleet. All ships, listen carefully. We are accelerating our timeline. I want all remaining stations cleared in 10 days, not 30. Load everything. If you cannot load it, destroy it. Leave nothing useful behind. We are not just leaving council space. We are going to make them wish they had never voted against us. Ryan looked concerned. Admiral, 10 days might not be enough. Some stations have heavy equipment. Some have families that need time to pack. Lisa looked at him. Her eyes were hard. Then work faster. Use more ships. Pay people overtime. I do not care how you do it. Just get it done. The council thinks we are weak. They think we need them. We are going to prove them wrong. She walked to the window. Outside, space was filled with human ships. Cargo haulers. Passenger transports. Military escorts. They moved in organized patterns like a dance. Like a river flowing away from council space toward freedom. Ryan came to stand beside her. Admiral, can I ask you something? Go ahead, why are we really doing this? I mean, I understand we are angry. I understand they kicked us out. But why take everything? Why not just leave quietly? Lisa was quiet for a moment. Then she spoke. Ryan, do you know why the council exiled us? Because we broke their rules. No, we broke their rules because their rules are stupid. The council has been running the galaxy for thousands of years. They have procedures for everything. Forms to fill out, committees to consult, votes to take. Everything moves slowly. Everything is controlled. They like it that way. It keeps them in power. She pointed at the screen. But humans? We move fast, we adapt. We find shortcuts. We make deals without asking permission. We solve problems instead of forming committees to study them. And that scared the council. We were changing things too quickly. We were making other species ask questions, dangerous questions. Like, why do we need all these rules? Like, why do we let the old species make all the decisions? Ryan started to understand. So we are not just leaving. We are showing others that they can leave too. Exactly. We are proving that you do not need the council to survive. You do not need their approval to thrive. And once other species see that, once they see humans doing well on their own, they will start asking why they need the council at all. Another officer called out, Admiral, we are getting requests from alien ships. They want to know if they can help with the evacuation. 23 different species have offered to send ships. Lisa smiled. This was good news. Very good news. Accept all offers, but make sure they understand something. If they help us, the council will know. The council will see it as taking sides. Are they willing to risk that? The officer listened to his earpiece. He nodded. They say they understand. They say they do not care. They are sending ships anyway. Lisa felt something warm in her chest. Hope, maybe, or pride. 23 species were willing to anger the Council to help humanity. That meant something. That meant the plan was working. She turned back to Ryan. Send a message to all those species. Thank them. Tell them we will remember this. Tell them that when we are settled in our new home, they will always be welcome. They will always have a friend in humanity. Ryan made notes on his pad. What about the Council? What if they try to stop the alien ships from helping? Let them try. If the Council attacks ships that are just carrying cargo, they will prove our point. They will show everyone that they are bullies, that they are tyrants, and more species will turn against them. Lisa walked back to her command chair. She sat down and looked at the countdown clock on the wall. 53 days until the deadline. But if they worked fast, they could be done in 20. Done and gone before the Council realized what was happening. She thought about Earth, home. She had not been there in 5 years. She missed it. Missed real gravity, missed real weather, missed trees and oceans and mountains. But Earth was about to get very crowded. Millions of people coming home at once. It would be chaos for a while. But chaos was something humans understood. Chaos was where humanity thrived. A new message appeared on her screen. It was from Paul Henderson. Just 3 words. Phase 2 ready? Lisa smiled and typed back. Execute when ready. Phase 2 was the best part. Phase 2 was when humanity stopped running and started building. Building something new. Something the galaxy had never seen. Something that would make the Council regret their vote. Ryan noticed her smile. Good news, Admiral? The best news. We are not just leaving Council space, Ryan. We are taking it apart. Piece by piece, deal by deal, species by species. And when we are done, the Council will be just another government that thought it could last forever. Just another empire that fell because it forgot to evolve. She stood up again. Send orders to all ships. Maximum speed. I want us out of here in 15 days. Not 20, 15. Show the Council what human efficiency really looks like. The bridge crew moved faster. Orders were sent. Ships accelerated. The great evacuation picked up speed, and Admiral Lisa Grant watched it all with satisfaction. The Council thought they were getting rid of a problem. They had no idea they were creating their own worst nightmare. A free humanity, an angry humanity. A humanity with nothing left to lose. 3 months passed. 3 months since humanity left Council space. 3 months since the Exile vote. The galaxy was quieter now. No more human ships rushing around. No more human traders making deals. No more human engineers fixing things. Just quiet. The Kreth ambassador sat in its office. The room was cold. Kreth liked cold. It helped them think. A screen on the wall showed messages. Lots of messages. All complaints the Vexin species sent a message. They ordered medical supplies from a human company. The supplies never came. The company was gone. The Vexin needed those supplies. People would die without them. The ambassador sent a reply. Find another supplier. There are many companies in Council space, but the Vexin wrote back. Human supplies cost half as much. Human ships delivered twice as fast. No other company can match their prices or speed. More complaints arrived. The Trell species could not get spare parts for their mining equipment. Humans made those parts. Now the mines were stopped. Thousands of workers sat idle. The Trell economy was suffering. The Boran species complained about entertainment. Humans made music and movies that Boran loved. Now there was no new content. The Boran were unhappy. Unhappy citizens meant political problems. The ambassador read every message. 47 complaints in 1 month. That was more than expected. Humans had provided services to many more species than anyone realized. But the galaxy would adjust. Other companies would fill the gaps. It would take time, but it would happen. Then something strange happened. The jump gates started failing. Captain Nina Ross sat in her ship, the Freedom's Call. She was far from Council space now. Outside their jurisdiction. Outside their laws. She watched her screen with interest. A Council patrol ship had just arrived at a jump gate. Jump gates were like shortcuts through space. They made travel fast. Without them, trips that took days would take weeks. But this jump gate was not working. The patrol ship sent signals. No response. They sent engineers to check the gate. The engineers found nothing wrong. The gate just would not activate. Nina's first officer spoke. Sir, they are asking us for information. They want to know when the gate will be fixed, Nina smiled. She was a small woman with short black hair. She had been a merchant captain for 20 years. She knew this galaxy better than most. Tell them nothing. We are outside council space. We do not have to answer their questions anymore. The truth was simple. Humans had not just used council jump gates. They built their own. Smaller gates, better gates, more efficient gates. They were scattered all over the galaxy. The council never knew about them. Humans kept them secret. When humanity left, they took the access codes with them. The gates still existed. They still worked, but only humans could use them now. Council ships were locked out. Trade routes that took 3 days now took 3 weeks. Ships burned more fuel. Cargo arrived late. Costs went up. The economic impact spread like ripples in water, and it was only the beginning. Ambassador Paul Henderson worked from a new office now. It was on a station in unclaimed space. Not council territory. Not human territory. Just empty space that nobody owned. The station was small but comfortable. It had everything he needed. He read reports every morning. Reports about council species reaching out to humanity. Not officially. The council had forbidden contact. But species found ways. Private messages. Secret meetings. Back channels. One species even sent a handwritten letter. The courier traveled for 3 weeks to deliver it. Every message said the same thing. Can we still trade with you? Can we still buy your products? Can we still work together? Paul's answer was always the same, of course. But there are new terms. The new terms were interesting. Humanity would provide the same services, same quality, same speed, but payment would not go through council banks. Disputes would not be handled by council courts. And most importantly, any species that traded with humanity would be breaking council law. They would be violating the exile order. Paul was giving them a choice. Follow council rules and suffer, or break council rules and prosper. Within 1 month, 68 species chose to break the rules. Kate Sullivan could not believe the numbers. She sat in her office looking at charts and graphs. The data was clear. Humanity was doing more business now than when they were council members. Much more. She walked to Paul's office. She knocked on the door. Come in, Paul called. Kate entered. She held her data pad like a weapon. Paul, look at this. We are processing more trade requests now than before. How is that possible? The council exiled us. They cut us off. They told everyone not to work with us. Paul leaned back in his chair. He looked tired but happy. Turns out rules are expensive, Kate. Following council regulations costs money. Lots of money. Filing paperwork costs money. Waiting for approval costs money. Paying council taxes costs money. We removed all that. We made it simple. Buy what you need. Pay what we agree. Done. No bureaucracy, no delays, no hassle. But aren't they afraid of council punishment? Some are. But most realize something important. The council cannot punish everyone. If 10 species break the rules, the council can make examples of them. But if 70 species break the rules, the council cannot stop them all. There is safety in numbers. Kate sat down. This is incredible. We turned exile into opportunity. Paul nodded. The council thought they were getting rid of a problem. They thought without their approval, humanity would fail. They were wrong. They gave us freedom. Freedom from their rules. Freedom from their oversight. And we are using that freedom to build something better. A message appeared on Paul's screen. He read it and smiled. Speaking of building, look at this. The council just announced sanctions. Any species caught trading with humanity will face economic penalties. Kate looked worried. Will that stop them? Paul checked another screen. In the 3 hours since the announcement, 10 more species have requested trade agreements with us. The sanctions made things worse for the council, not better. Every time they threaten punishment, more species join us. They are proving our point. The council rules through fear and control. We offer cooperation and mutual benefit. Which do you think species prefer? Kate started to understand the genius of the plan. We are not fighting the council. We are just giving people an alternative, and the alternative is better. Exactly. The council has existed for thousands of years. They think they are permanent. They think they are necessary. But they are not. They are just old, and old things break when the world changes. We are that change, Kate. We are showing the galaxy that you do not need the council. You do not need their permission to succeed. Another message arrived. then another, then 5 more. Paul's screen filled with requests. Species wanting information. Species wanting meetings. Species wanting to join the new trade network. Kate watched the messages multiply. Are we ready for this? This is bigger than we expected. Paul stood up. He walked to the window. Outside, ships moved through space. Human ships and alien ships, working together. Trading freely. No council officials checking their cargo. No council judges settling their disputes. Just business. Just cooperation. No, we are not ready. But humans never are. We figure things out as we go. That is what makes us dangerous. We adapt, we improvise. We overcome. The council plans everything for decades. We plan for tomorrow and adjust when needed. He turned back to Kate. Get me a list of every species that has contacted us. I want to know their needs, their concerns, their fears. We are going to build a network. Not a government. Not a council. Just a network of species that want to trade freely. No rules except the ones we all agree on. No leaders except the ones we choose. No taxes except what we need to maintain infrastructure. Kate made notes. What do we call this network? Paul thought for a moment. Call it the Free Trade Association. Simple, clear, honest. We are free from council control. We trade without restrictions. We associate by choice, not by law. Kate smiled. The Free Trade Association, I like it. It says exactly what we are. A priority message arrived. It was marked urgent. Paul opened it. His expression changed. What is it? Kate asked. The council is calling an emergency session. They want to discuss the human problem. Apparently we are causing more disruption than they expected. Kate felt nervous. What will they do? Paul closed the message. They will argue. They will debate. They will form committees. They will take votes. And while they are doing all that, we will be working. We will be growing. We will be building alliances. By the time they decide what to do, it will be too late. He sat back down at his desk. Send responses to everyone who contacted us. Tell them yes. Tell them we are open for business. Tell them they are welcome to join the Free Trade Association. Tell them that freedom has no boundaries. Tell them the future belongs to those brave enough to choose it. Kate went back to her office. She started writing messages. One after another. Yes, 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 welcome, join us. Work with us. Build with us. In council space, the emergency session began. Angry voices filled the chambers. Accusations flew. Blame was assigned. But no solutions were found. Outside council space, humanity smiled. They had been exiled, cast out, forbidden to return. And they had turned it into the best thing that ever happened to them. The council wanted them gone. So they went. They went and built something new. Something better. Something free. The council chamber was in chaos. The Kreth ambassador stood at the center platform trying to maintain order. But order was breaking down. Delegates were shouting. Arguments filled the air. What had been a united government 6 months ago was now falling apart. The ambassador raised all 6 arms. The gesture meant silence. But many delegates ignored it. They kept talking. Kept arguing. The ambassador's translator spoke loudly. Order! We must have order! The human exile was necessary. They broke our laws. They ignored our rules. This council cannot function if species simply do whatever they want. A small delegate stood up. It was from the Vexen species. They normally avoided conflict. They normally stayed quiet in meetings. But not today. With respect, Ambassador, your laws are killing us. Human merchants sold goods at half the price of council-approved suppliers. Human ships were twice as fast. Human technology worked better. You exiled them because they would not bow to your ancient systems. You exiled them because they showed us there was a better way. The Kreth ambassador's crystal body flashed red. That was a sign of anger. The systems exist for a reason. They maintain order. They prevent chaos. They protect all species. A delegate from the Tal Consortium interrupted. The systems protect you. They protect the old species, the founding members. The rest of us follow rules we did not write. Rules that benefit you and cost us. Rules that keep us dependent on your approval. Humanity offered us independence. They offered us freedom. And you punished them for it. The debate grew louder. More delegates joined in. Some defended the council. Many attacked it. The divide was clear. The old species wanted things to stay the same. The young species wanted change. Finally, a vote was called. Should the Council impose sanctions on any species trading with humanity? The results were shocking. 90 delegates voted yes, 70 delegates voted no. 57 delegates abstained. The Council's authority, which had been absolute for thousands of years, was crumbling. After the session ended, 37 species made formal announcements. They would not comply with the sanctions. They would continue trading with humanity. The Council could not stop them. Admiral Lisa Grant read the intelligence report in her office. She was back on Earth now. Back home. The evacuation had been completed in record time. Every human was safe. Every piece of technology was secured. And now the reports were coming in. Reports about Council fractures. Reports about species rebelling. Reports about the old order falling apart. Commander Ryan Brooks sat across from her. He looked tired but satisfied. We did it, Admiral. We broke them. Not with weapons. Not with war. Just by leaving. Just by offering people a choice. Lisa nodded slowly. We accomplished in 6 months what would have taken decades of diplomacy. By exiling us, they showed everyone their true nature. They showed that the Council will turn on any species that steps out of line. And by surviving outside their system, we proved you do not need their approval. Ryan leaned forward. But what happens now? We cannot stay in this limbo forever. We are outside Council space, but we are still connected to dozens of species. Eventually, the Council will do something. They cannot let this continue. Lisa pulled up a classified file on her screen. Then we need to be ready. Show me the latest weapons reports. Ryan transferred data to her screen. New shield technology. Weapons that could pierce any known armor. Ship designs that were faster and more agile than anything the Council had. Stealth systems that made human ships invisible to Council sensors. Lisa studied the information. The Council never bothered to really look at human technology. They assumed we were primitive. They assumed we got lucky with one good invention. They never asked what else we could do. That was their mistake, Ryan smiled. A big mistake. If they attack us now, they will lose. They have numbers. They have size. But we have innovation. We have adaptability. We have weapons they have never seen before. Lisa closed the file. But I do not want war. War is expensive. War is destructive. War makes everyone suffer. We need a different solution. The door opened. Jack Morrison entered. He had been traveling between human colonies, coordinating the next phase of their plan. He looked excited. I have an idea, Jack said. He sat down without being invited. It was typical Jack behavior. We call a meeting, not a council meeting. A new meeting. We invite every species that has traded with us. Every species that is tired of council rules. Every species that wants something different. And we offer them what the council never did. Lisa looked interested. What is that, a choice? A real choice. Join us or do not join us. Follow our agreements or do not follow them. There are no mandatory memberships. No permanent seats. No founding species with special privileges. Just cooperation between equals. Ryan looked skeptical. Will anyone come? The council will threaten them. They will face economic sanctions. Maybe military action, Jack smiled. That is exactly why they will come. The council has been threatening them for months. Threatening sanctions. Threatening punishment. But the council cannot punish everyone. There are over 200 species in the galaxy. If half of them tell the council no, what can the council do? Attack 100 species? Blockade 100 systems? They do not have the resources. They do not have the will. Lisa started to see the plan. We are calling their bluff. We are forcing them to either back down or prove they are tyrants exactly, and either way we win. If they back down, their authority is broken forever. If they attack, they prove we were right about them. Other species will turn against them. The council will fall. Ryan still looked worried. But what if some species are afraid? What if they do not want to risk council anger? Jack leaned back in his chair. Then they stay with the council. That is fine. We are not trying to destroy the old system. We are just building a new one. Species can choose which they prefer, or they can choose both. Dual membership. Trade with the council when it benefits them. Trade with us when it benefits them. Make the systems compete for their loyalty. Lisa thought about it. She looked at Ryan. What do you think? Ryan was quiet for a moment. Then he nodded. It could work. But we need to be careful about the message. We are not rebels. We are not revolutionaries. We are just offering an alternative. We are building something new, not tearing something down. Jack pointed at him. Exactly. We are the good guys here. We were exiled for breaking rules that did not make sense. We left peacefully. We built something better, and now we are inviting others to join us. If the council has a problem with that, the problem is theirs, not ours. Lisa made a decision. Do it, send the invitations. Make it clear that attendance is optional. Make it clear that we are not demanding anything. Just offering. Just proposing. Let the species decide for themselves. Jack stood up. He pulled out his communicator. I will have the invitations sent within the hour. We will need a location. Somewhere neutral. Somewhere safe. Lisa thought about it. There is a station in the Kalos sector. It is an unclaimed space, far from council territory. We can use that. Jack nodded and left the room. Ryan stayed. Admiral, do you really think this will work? Lisa looked out the window. Earth was below them. Blue and green and beautiful. Home. She had fought for Earth her entire life. She would continue fighting. But maybe fighting did not always mean war. Maybe fighting meant building something worth defending. I do not know if it will work, Ryan, but I know this. Humanity has always been good at chaos. We thrive when things are uncertain. We adapt when others freeze. The Council has ruled through order and control for thousands of years. That worked when the galaxy was stable. But the galaxy is not stable anymore. We destabilized it. We showed species that change is possible. Now we have to show them what comes next. What comes next? Lisa smiled. Freedom, real freedom. Not the false freedom of following someone else's rules. The freedom to make your own choices. The freedom to succeed or fail on your own merits. The freedom to build the future you want. Not the future someone else designed for you. Ryan stood up. He walked to the door. Then he turned back. Admiral, I am proud to serve with you. I am proud to be part of this. Whatever happens next, we change the galaxy. That means something, Lisa nodded. It means everything. Now go help Jack, we have a meeting to organize. And this meeting might determine the future of the entire galaxy. Ryan left. Lisa sat alone in her office. She thought about the past year. The exile vote. The evacuation. The network building. The council fracturing. It had all happened so fast. 1 year ago, humanity was a council member trying to fit in. Now they were independent. Now they were building something new. She pulled up the weapons reports again. She hoped they would never need them. But if the council forced their hand, humanity would be ready. They would fight. They would win. Not because they were stronger, but because they were fighting for something that mattered. Fighting for freedom. Her communicator buzzed. It was a message from Paul Henderson. The invitations are sent. 83 species have responded positively. They will attend the meeting. This is happening, Lisa. This is really happening, Lisa typed a response. Good. Prepare the station. Make sure security is tight. And Paul, make sure the first thing everyone sees when they arrive is that we are equals. No throne rooms. No elevated platforms. Just a circle where everyone sits at the same level. Paul replied quickly. Already designed that way. We learned from the council's mistakes. We will not repeat them. Lisa closed the communicator. She looked at Earth again. Her ancestors had come from that planet. They had built civilizations. They had fought wars. They had made peace. They had explored the stars. And now their descendants were building the next chapter. A chapter of freedom. A chapter of choice. A chapter where humanity would never again bow to anyone. The station floated in neutral space. It was perfectly positioned between council territory and the outer rim. Nobody owned this region of space. Nobody claimed it. It was just empty. Empty and safe. The perfect place for a meeting that would change everything. The station had been built in secret over 8 months. Humans worked with 12 other species to construct it. The design was completely different from council buildings. The council liked tall structures with seats arranged in levels. Higher seats meant more power, more importance, more control. This station was different. The main chamber was circular. Every seat was on the same level. No species was above any other. No species had a better view. Everyone was equal. That was the point. That was the message. Kate Sullivan stood at the entrance. Her job was to greet delegates as they arrived.
She had been doing this for 6 hours.
Ships kept coming. 83 species had accepted the invitation. Some were small species that the council barely noticed. Others were major powers with huge economies and strong militaries. Each arrival was important. Each handshake or greeting gesture meant something. These species were taking a risk. The Council had threatened sanctions. They had threatened punishment. But these species came anyway. That took courage. The last ship to arrive was unexpected. Kate watched it dock with surprise. It was a Kreth ship, the same species that led the Exile vote, the same species that ran the Council. What were they doing here? The airlock opened. The Kreth ambassador emerged. It was alone, no guards, no assistants. Just one crystalline being walking slowly down the corridor. Kate stepped forward. "You were not invited," the ambassador's translator responded. "I know, I came anyway. I need to understand what is happening here. I need to see what you are building." Kate was not sure what to do. She looked around for Paul. He saw her and came over quickly. "Ambassador," Paul said with a slight bow, "this is unexpected, but you are welcome. Please follow me." They walked through the station. The Kreth ambassador looked at everything. The design, the layout, the way species worked together in the corridors. Humans and aliens side by side. No hierarchy, no ranks. Just cooperation. They entered the main chamber. It was already full. Delegates from dozens of species sat in the circle. They were talking quietly among themselves, sharing stories, making connections, building relationships. Paul led the ambassador to the center of the room. He pressed a button. The conversation stopped. Everyone looked at him. "Thank you all for coming. 9 months ago, the Galactic Council voted to exile humanity. They said we did not fit. They said we could not follow the rules. They were right. We could not follow rules designed to benefit a few at the expense of many. Rules that kept things stable by keeping things stagnant." He paused. The chamber was completely silent, but here is what the Council did not understand. We did not need them, and it seems many of you do not need them either. In the past months you have chosen to trade with us, to work with us, to build relationships outside Council oversight, not because we forced you, not because we threatened you, but because you wanted the freedom to make your own choices. A delegate from the vaccine species stood up. "What exactly are you proposing, Ambassador Henderson? Are you trying to replace the Council? Are you trying to start a war?" Paul shook his head. "No. We are not trying to destroy anything. We are building something new, something different. We are proposing an association of free species, species who agree to trade together, species who share knowledge, species who resolve disputes through discussion, not through ancient bureaucracy. No species gets special treatment. No founding members with permanent power. Just cooperation. Just mutual benefit. Just freedom." Another delegate spoke up. "But the Council will never accept this. They will see it as rebellion. They will punish us." Paul looked directly at the speaker. "They do not have to accept it. We are not asking their permission. This is not about destroying the Council. They can continue doing what they do, but they do not get to control everyone anymore. They do not get to dictate how the galaxy operates. If you want to stay in the Council, stay. If you want to join us, join us. If you want to do both, do both." "The choice is yours," the Kreth ambassador suddenly spoke. Its voice echoed through the chamber. Every eye turned toward it. "You have destroyed what took 10,000 years to build." The Council maintained peace. The Council enforced standards. The Council resolved conflicts between species. What you are creating here is chaos. What you are proposing will tear the galaxy apart. Kate stepped forward. She spoke clearly and firmly. "No. What we are creating is opportunity." The Council maintained peace by forcing everyone to follow the same path. But that path benefited the old species. It restricted the young species. It prevented innovation. It prevented growth. You call that order. We call that stagnation. The Kreth ambassador turned its body toward her. "Humanity has been in space for barely a century. You know nothing of our history. You know nothing of the wars that came before the Council. You know nothing of why these systems exist." Jack Morrison stood up from his seat. "You are right. We do not know your history. We do not carry the weight of 10,000 years of tradition. Maybe that is our strength. We look at your systems and we do not see sacred structures. We see inefficiency. We see waste. We see species being held back by rules they did not write and cannot change." He walked to the center of the circle. He addressed everyone. The council exiled us because we would not conform. Fine. We will build something better. Something that celebrates differences instead of suppressing them. Something that rewards innovation instead of punishing it. Something that treats all species as equals instead of dividing them into founders and followers. And we invite anyone who is interested to join us. The chamber erupted. Species began talking to each other. Some were excited. Some were cautious. Some were worried. But they were all engaged. They were all thinking. They were all considering possibilities they had never considered before. The Kreth ambassador stood silently. Its crystalline body flickered with colors. Finally, it spoke again. I came here to understand. I believe I do now. You are not trying to destroy the council. You are simply ignoring us. That may be worse than any attack. Paul walked closer to the ambassador. We are not ignoring you. We are just not waiting for your permission anymore. The council ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. You did many good things, but you also became rigid. You became inflexible. You began to serve yourselves instead of serving the galaxy. We are simply showing that there is another way. The Kreth ambassador was silent for a long moment. Then it turned and walked toward the exit. Kate thought it was leaving. But at the door it stopped. It turned back. Perhaps we were wrong about humanity. Perhaps you will teach us something we forgot. That rules should serve people, not the other way around. Then it left. The chamber watched it go. Nobody spoke for several seconds. Then the conversations resumed. Louder now, more animated. The ambassador's words had given them permission to think differently, to imagine differently, to choose differently. Over the next 3 hours, delegates discussed the proposal. They asked questions. They raised concerns. They debated details. And slowly, carefully, they began to agree. By the end of the meeting, 64 species signed the founding charter. It was called the Free Trade Association. The document was simple, 10 pages instead of the council's 10,000. The rules were clear. Trade freely. Resolve disputes fairly. Respect all members equally. No species has permanent authority. No decisions are made without consensus. No member is forced to do anything. Not everyone left the council. Many species maintained dual membership. They would work with both organizations. They would see which one served them better. That was fine. That was the point. Choice, freedom, options. As the last delegates departed, Lisa Grant joined Paul and Jack on the observation deck. They watched the ships leave. Ships heading in all directions, carrying news of what happened here. Carrying word that the galaxy was changing. We did it, Lisa said quietly. They exiled us. They tried to make us disappear. Instead, we created something that will outlast them. Paul looked tired. Do not celebrate yet. The council will not give up easily. They will fight this. They will try to undermine us. They will threaten our members. This is just the beginning of a long struggle. Jack smiled. That smile that meant he was ready for a fight. Humanity has always been good at long struggles. We thrive under pressure. We adapt to challenges. We overcome obstacles. Maybe that is what the galaxy needs. Less order and more adaptation. Less tradition and more innovation. Less control and more freedom. Kate approached them. She held a datapad. Her face showed excitement. Sirs, we are receiving messages from Council Space. 12 more species want information about joining the association. And the Kreth ambassador sent a private communication. What does it say? Paul asked. Kate read from the pad. Just one sentence. Perhaps we were wrong about humanity. Perhaps you will teach us what we have forgotten. That rules should serve people, not the other way around. Paul looked out at the stars. Millions of them. Billions of them. Each one potentially holding life. Holding species. Holding civilizations. And for the first time in thousands of years, those civilizations had a choice. Follow the old path or create a new one. He thought about Earth. About humanity's history. About all the times humans had faced impossible situations and found ways through. Not by being stronger. Not by being smarter. But by being stubborn. By refusing to accept that something was impossible. By changing the rules when the rules did not work. That was what they had done here. The council said humanity did not fit. Fine. Humanity built a new place where they did fit. And in doing so, they built a place where many species fit. Species that were tired of old rules. Species that wanted something different. Species that were ready for change. Lisa spoke quietly. What happens now? What is our next step? Paul turned to her. Now we prove it works. We show the galaxy that cooperation is better than control. We demonstrate that freedom is more efficient than bureaucracy. We build an economy that works for everyone, not just the powerful. And we wait for the council to realize their time is over. Jack added his thoughts. And if they do not realize it peacefully, we remind them. We have weapons they have never seen. We have technology they do not understand. We have allies they did not know we made. We are not looking for war. But if war comes, we will be ready. Lisa looked at both men. Then let us go home. Let us return to Earth and begin the next phase. We changed the game. Now we need to win it. They left the observation deck. Behind them, the station continued its work. Ships came and went. Species traded. Deals were made. Relationships were built. And slowly, carefully, the galaxy began to change. The council still existed. They still had power. They still had authority over many species. But they no longer had total control. They no longer dictated everything. They had competition now. Real competition. And competition meant they would have to change or fade away. Humanity had been exiled, cast out from the established order, told they did not belong, and instead of accepting that judgment, they had done what humans always do. They changed everything. They rewrote the rules. They built something new from nothing. They turned exile into opportunity. They turned punishment into freedom. The council had voted to get rid of a problem. They had no idea they were creating their own replacement. They had no idea that by pushing humanity away, they were pushing them to become something greater, something that would challenge everything the council represented. Humanity did not wait to be told what to do. They did not beg for permission. They did not ask to be let back in. They simply did what needed to be done. They built. They created. They offered an alternative. And the galaxy responded. The game had changed. The rules had changed. The galaxy had changed. And it all started with one vote. One decision to exile a troublesome species. One attempt to maintain order by removing chaos. It had backfired completely. Because humans were not chaos. Humans were evolution. Humans were change. Humans were the future refusing to wait for permission from the past.